Hello, beautiful Lovegodesses. How are you doing? Checking everything is set up correctly. This week, I want to share with you my experience of going to Vegas and my thoughts, and I'm sure some other gems of wisdom will come up as I'm talking about this. But it was my birthday month, which is fun and exciting. I am not excited about the prospect of aging, but I chose to look at it from a different perspective, from a perspective of why can't I just decide to age backwards? Like, who said that we have to count our age forward? Why can't I? Why can't I just kind of go back in time? So funny too. I was just setting up my new reel editor with the content for blogging reels, where he takes the content and puts the videos together for me while I'm giving him a voiceover. And I'm going back into like content, trying to source him some content from like my really early time. And I'm like looking at myself, I'm not recognizing myself. I'm like, who is this girl? She is like such a great duckling, is how I call everyone, and including myself. I used to be that woman, right? I even look different now. I did a little bit of some work on myself. It's not like major. I did like sharpened my eyebrows and did some permanent makeup stuff, and it made me look different. And I love myself better. That I like how I look now a lot better than how I used to look in the past. And to me, it's revelation. And I also notice it in other women who have become successful. I'm noticing that they look better now than they were before. It's not truth for everyone, but women who are not successful are not looking good at all. The other day, and I'm sorry, I am that person. I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna judge, and you judge me. You can say the same thing about me. I don't care. If you have not listened to the story, and I don't even know if I shared that with you, but I was fired from a job. I used to do bookkeeping for Dunkin' Donuts franchisee on the Outer Banks, and I worked there for a while. I got fired by divine intervention. And it's, by the way, that's a great idea for a podcast, divine intervention. But like literally nothing makes sense in the way I was fired. I was literally like the first person that they hired. I was like the back then a leader of the company. It doesn't matter. I hated the job, right? I just wasn't I didn't have the guts to quit. So anyway, the universe intervened and kicked me in the butt and said, time to go, darling. So with that said, the girl who set it all up for me, that bitch, she is still with the company all these years later. And I looked, and I'm sorry. And if you listen to this podcast, God forgive me. But I found the picture on accident, scrolling, they opened another store, found the picture, and I was like, oh my God. It's that girl. She looks like she aged 30 years. She wears the most ridiculous clothes that grandma wears. She has wrinkles. She's I could not even recognize. I thought it was someone's grandma. And she's younger than me by maybe 5-10 years. And I was like, oh my God. So anyway, this rule does not apply to everyone, only successful women. And I'm sorry, I'm judging left and right here, and I know somebody is judging me and whatever, I don't give a fuck. So anyway, back to Vegas story, right? I'm about to share with you how my birthday celebration went. So As a matter of fact, let me like kind of go backwards why I chose Vegas. I knew I was so burnt out. I was so overworked. I just needed a getaway, and I knew my birthday was coming up. So, and we usually like, we kind of like, it just like started happening that it is now a tradition because of how much I love traveling. We now, my husband and I, and it's our getaway, just him and I, we always go somewhere together. So once we went to Chicago, then Miami, then like Vegas, and I don't know if we've been doing this for a like 3 or 4 or longer, I can't remember. But anyway, I knew that we were gonna go because like it somehow became our tradition, and I love it that way. Like that, to me, that we stopped giving each other presents, and that was unfortunate, and that habit carried over from the time we were very frugal. We did not have the extra money. We were barely like making money to pay bills, and this habit carried over. We're like, oh, we don't need presents, and like we have not been giving each other presents, and now like my husband is like, it's become so norm that like I don't even think that this is something abnormal. And now like my husband is coming to me and saying, you know, we should really start giving each other presents now. I was like, oh my God, you are so right. How did we not? Like, what? And it goes from the time when we had nothing. And so he gave me like a little presents, but it's not like birthday is not even about presents. Birthday to me, like, I love traveling. That's where I'm like putting my money in. Like, I choose traveling over home improvement. That's why my home have not been improved for years and years and years. Please, somebody come in, do that shit. I don't care. I want travel. Like, to me, I want experiences. I want to see new people. I want to see new places. I want that. And I chose Vegas. First of all, I just wanted to go somewhere quick, and it was between Miami and Vegas. But Miami is kind of like, I'm going there anyway in winter. Like, I want to go to Vegas. But then, second, my second reasoning for this was the fact that I wanted some ideas, because I have gotten this idea to turn our, like, to me, and that's another good episode for podcast. I need to like record all of these ideas. I don't think the studio worked out in the way we started doing it, and I'm realizing and pinching myself, it was never supposed to be a dance studio in the first place, and I'm kind of pulling back and redoing it the right way, how it was originally supposed to be. It was supposed to be an online membership with some dance elements in it. So anyway, with that said, I completely scrapped the whole idea, and I'm kind of like, I'm rebirthing this idea. It's a membership like it was originally intended, with a very exclusive private club. And I'm like researching, can I set up a bar there in the front lobby, like turn it into like more of a like high-end speakeasy type of environment for very exclusive women who are in our higher level private membership. Therefore, I will fulfill my lifetime dream of owning a club without dealing with any drugs or guys or drunks. Like, it's gonna be a private, very private club lounge, and that's what I'm kind of like thinking with this right now. And it's not gonna be coming anytime soon, just so you know, because I have an app to launch, the classes to restart, the coaching to launch. So like we're looking at least 1 year for that happening. So the lobby was gonna stay lobby for now, and we'll incorporate all of that and build out all of that as it comes naturally, right? So with that said, I wanted ideas because I love to get inspired. I wanted ideas for high-end speakeasy type of club and lounge environment. And so I thought Vegas was perfect for that. And I wanted to experience. And guess what? I have like all these pictures on my phone where I was like, oh my God, look, this is exactly what I want my like lounge high-end club to look like, right? So my phone is filled with those pictures. Anyway, that was the reasoning why I chose Vegas, and I wanted to get inspired, but also I knew I'm gonna have tons of wonderful experiences. We're gonna go to shows and so on, and clubs and so on. So we did go to 2 shows. One was Katy Perry. She's wrapping up a show there. Both my husband and I are not into Katy Perry, so we're like, I don't know about that whole thing. And then we watch previews, and then there's like the hallucinated mushrooms in her show, and like a big toilet on stage, and was like, dude, this is ridiculous. This is like down our alley. We have to go watch this. I bet it's gonna be like ridiculous. And so we did, and we loved it. Surprisingly, we're not so much into Katy Perry, but we like have so much more respect for her now, because like we now know who she is, and we watch her show, and we like got to interact with her and get to know her personality, and it was super, super fun and awesome. But then we also went and watched David Copperfield, because like this is someone I knew from my childhood, and I was so disappointed. We way overpaid. It was very impersonal. It was so staged. There's no magic whatsoever. Do not waste your money going to David Copperfield show. Way overpriced for what it was. Should have gone to Cirque du Soleil. Anyway, enough of that. My husband was like really bummed, because like we could have gone to a better show. But anyway, so that, then we went to one of the fun, fancy restaurants called Super Frico, we stayed in Planet Hollywood. Probably not gonna stay there again. Kind of like not. It wasn't bad, like compared to like other places out there, but it wasn't like wow, right? It wasn't wow. I was kind of disappointed about like some inconveniences, and the fact that like I even had to pay for like my own lounger by the pool. I was like, oh, fuck this place. So anyway, but the good news, we were staying right across, like literally right across from, like in the thick of it. So that was the plus of staying there. And right across were, in fact, the hotels that I have never been until last week, or whenever we went, that like Cosmopolitan, Bellagio, I don't like. Too run down, too old. There's so many old hotels, like I'm not into it. But the new fancy, like the new up-leveled, upscaled hotels like Cosmopolitan, I love. Wynn, I love, but Wynn is kind of far from the Strip. Aria was the one that impressed me the most. I was like, holy cow, this hotel has the fanciest stuff like in Vegas, period. So like I just fell in love with Aria. Maybe 2 years from now, I'll be able to get a $900 room there. Like right now, it's like way too much for me to spend per night, right? Anyway, but yeah, there is like this cool restaurant in Cosmopolitan called Super Frico, and there's lots of performances, people wearing costume, walking around tables, doing some jokes and weird stuff. The room that we were sitting in was decorated in this like Back to the Future kind of style decor. The music was funky and weird and fun. The cocktails, everything was, if you haven't watched my stories, maybe this content will come across in one of my reels. However, it was just super, super fun, and I loved it. The portions could have been bigger, the quality of food could have been better, but drinks, especially mine, my husband ordered one, it was okay, but my drink, oh my God, it was called Pool Boy. My drink was absolutely amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely awesome. Okay, so we went to a restaurant. We went to Mia Wolf. We already did go to Mia Wolf, which is like a museum. And I wouldn't call it a museum. It's like more of the like, and Steve and I are both into these psychedelic weird stuff. That's like Alice in Wonderland kind of stuff that like you should be going while you're like under influence of mushrooms or something like that. But it's like interactive weird museum of like you walk in and there's like things to discover and stories, and there's like these decors that are interactive, and it's like I highly encourage you googling Mio Wolf. Went to the one in Denver, which is way bigger than the Vegas one, and it was so much fun. It was like you could spend a day in there. It's like it's just art installations after art installations that are super interactive, lots of light effects, all that super awesome stuff. But something that I do want to share with you is that for the first time, we've been like attempting to go there for a while, and we didn't go last year. Oh yeah, last year we went to Vegas too for my birthday. I remember now. So like I'm gonna say we've been doing a couple of trips for my birthday for 4 years now. So we went to Vegas and we went to Zion National Park. That's right. Anyway, with the last year and prior years, I wanted to go to a place called Green Door, which is public swingers club. And I already did go to the Miami one twice and by myself, and maybe 2 times with my husband. And he now kind of like has a perception and an idea of what it is. And I knew about the one in Vegas. It's called Green Door. Concept is slightly different. There's no party that's happening. It's literally a house. You walk in, there's multiple rooms. People do their thing. In those rooms, there's a couple's rooms you can watch. There is like private rooms where you can also kind of watch. They're not like fully private. But that's really like you go there just for that, right? Where in Miami, it was like a party place. You partied, right? You partied before, and the action was happening after the party at like 2, 3 a.m. It started happening. Kind of similar situation as far as like the timing. I think we did call the place and they told us that like to come after 12. So I think 1 is when we showed up, and it just now kind of like started to pick up, I guess. So we watched. And for the first time ever, we did it there. We didn't have much audience, which is fine, but we did it. It was like a opening of another like completely different level to everything. Can only do this when I know no one, like completely discreet environment. It was very like dark, so it was totally okay. I'm kind of the person who like expands my like at first, like back when my husband and I started, like he was the one who was expanding my sexual horizons. He was the first one to get me all these sex toys. Like I've never bought myself a sex toy until like 10 years later in life. Like he was the one who like was getting me, try this kind. Like he was getting me all these things, and I have an entire like collection of those, and I bought none of them, right? But now we kind of like switched, and I'm like giving him like I'm expanding his horizons in this kind of environment where like it involves other people, and that's very interesting to me because like he got me started like with my sex ed expansion, and I'm like picking up the stick, and like I am now like the challenging him in these areas, and that's very, very interesting to observe in the first place. But I do not want to like, you are welcome to ask me questions. I will answer them since I'm kind of like openly sharing, have been sharing about my experience about all of that with you from the very beginning. And like literally the first time I went to a swingers club was maybe 2 years ago. Now 2 years into it, like last week, we actually gotten to do it in a completely like discreet environment, but we did it there, and both of us loved it. Both of us enjoyed it. It did kind of, my husband feels like that has opened him up to like his broken, or like how did he word this? The cork has been opened or something like that, he said. I don't know. To me, it's like another day in paradise, whatever. So nothing special. It's like not like we don't do it in our private home environment. You know what I mean? So anyway, that was kind of very interesting to like have that observation. We have crossed some kind of milestone with this. I still do not believe or have any desire to do it with other people as part of like touching other people at all. Like being next to like a cute, and they have to be cute, like they have to be like super hot couple to do it right next to it. The ones that I see for the first time and like let them go and never see them again, like that would be kind of the only the only condition to that, right? So anyway, that was interesting. And as we are coming back, we were like, all right, what's your most memorable? And he didn't even want to go. He like, I want to see more shows and do more. Oh, we did go to a club too, which was a disappointment. Should have picked a different club. We also supposed to see some kind of rapper, and it's like we left at like 2:55 a.m. We're like, she's not coming. I don't know what the hell we paid all these tickets for. And guess what? Like next day, I started following this girl called Bia, the rapper, and that was supposed to perform. And the next day, I follow her page, and she's like performing at 3:05 a.m. right when we left. And I was like, fuck this shit. So anyway, we kind of like messed up the whole thing with the club, but okay, that's fine. But we did do the green door, and he didn't want to do it. He's like, let's skip that. And I was like, no, we're going. And despite how tired we were, how like after a day filled with events, we still did go. And as we are kind of like reminiscing on how our trip went, we were like, my most memorable part was green door. What's yours? Green door. So it was, and it turned out to be the most memorable, most exciting, most fun part for us. And the second was Katy Perry concert. So that's the breakdown. I'm open for questions. If you have them, I will address them in another podcast recording. But, I'm an open book. I love talking about stuff that society considers taboo and fucks it all up for us. And we think that somehow it is not appropriate to like share these experiences and not only we are leaving ourselves behind from experiencing and self-expressing in full, but also, it's just miserable life for other people. So like, I'm kind of like, I am on a mission to experience and explore life at its fullest, self-express at its fullest, and share that with other women at its fullest because they deserve it. You should not settle for anything less than perfect and ideal and wonderful and fun in life, right? And that's what I'm about. So with that, my love, we are working behind the doors to launch the app version of the Lovegodesss Studio. I am so pumped to soon introduce you to the app that is coming. Please make sure to message me the word Lovegodesss. I will put you on a wait list, and as soon as it's ready, I will share that information. You'll be the first one to know about it. And with that, my love, thank you so much for tuning in and chatting with me, and I will see you later. Mwah. Bye.